What's good with it? It's your boy, Simon Phoenix. This is Shots Fired. What up? What up? What up? So as I always do, I decided, it's time to stick my hand in the magic bag. So all in the magic bag, trying to figure out who the hell I'm going to pull out. What am I going to bring to the table? So then I thought to myself, you know what? I know a intelligent, hardworking man, and I would love to have a man combo. How can men get better? How can we be better people? How can we put more back into our community? So without further ado, one of my favorite men. What's up with you, Will?
What up, fam? How you doing, bro?
I can't call it, man. Trying to stay out of the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm glad you got me here today, man. I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to exchanging with you. I admire what you've been doing. You've been putting in work for so long, and you always come with something fresh and new. And I used to, just to be honest, you'd be like, man, do I got to ask this dude, can I be on the show? Like,
look, I'm going to tell you.
When is he going to hit me? Like, for real, man. I mean, you was like, everyone on the show but me, man. Like, what's up? You don't like me or something?
No, man.
I'm glad to finally be here, bro.
It ain't that. I got love for you, man. Look, I'm trying to chop my way through the list. So, look, I brung you on the show for several reasons. One of them, to start off, to give some context to the people that's listening. I know a lot of people don't know, but I was an MC. I used to spit hot, toxic fire. Dylon status, right? And in high school, when you are going through the rapper circles, you freestyling, this in the 90s, so this is how we used to do it. Freestyling, spitting, and it would always be upperclassmen that was nice. Now, don't get me wrong, just because you're upperclassmen don't mean you nice. It was a bunch of upperclassmen that was trash. But Will happened to be a nice upperclassman, and he was one of the first dudes I really seen spit like I was seeing on TV, like continuous flow, dope metaphors, switched up his style, messed around with his voice a little bit. He entertained me and made me go deeper into my bag to say, yeah, I want to rap. I really want to rap. So looking at you as a person, you opened that door for me. So that's one of my reasons why. And I know that in that time period and beyond, you were doing hip hop stuff. And I be wanting to give cats their flowers because I know it's so many guys just in this region who never got recognized, who had hot shit, but people was like, "Oh, you from here? I don't want to listen to that."
Right.
Or you ain't on no major label? I ain't messing with you. You be like, "Bro, you rap better than your mans. Your mans is garbage, and you've been trying to give me that CD for months." Straight booty cheeks.
Right. We in the age of no. I think one of the downfalls of modern hip hop or this age is the age of don't judge me. And as you know, growing up being in hip hop in our era, you got judged from the jump. Like, if you was trash, you didn't have to wait a week, a day, an hour. You got that junk settled real quick. You can have the greatest rap in your mind, in your room. And as soon as you came to the streets with it, as soon as you came to a battle with it, you was going to find out that you was trash.
Straight
garbage. And everybody was going to let you know.
Oh, yeah, they was going to put you on.
They was going to put you on, and either you going to come back from it and get better, or you going to quit and, like, leave it alone. And nowadays, the most mindless, non-talented individual does not want to be told you're not good enough. Well, and we have an overflow of, to be kind, I'll say mediocrity when it comes to music and hip hop.
That's
and
correct.
So I don't really, don't want to judge and sound like an old fuddy-duddy, like, oh man, the new generation suck. Nah. It's not that. It's just like the fact that you don't want to be judged, and your skin is so thin, and you can't take constructive criticism. That's what's whack, I think.
I would concur. I would agree. I'm saying you damn right. Anything else I can come up with to come out my face? All of the above. For me, on my
Okay.
side of the street, I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. Like, y'all give out too many passes. That's why I hate this generation. It's the give out a billion
Yeah.
passes for stuff that people shouldn't get passes for. And like you said, I'm not trying to be a hater because there's so much to love with this generation. It's so many things that I'm happy that y'all doing, but it's things that just are annoying where hip hop used to be ruled by the MC. I spit
Right.
lyrics. That's who ruled hip hop. And
Hmm.
it was cool if they had a couple hits, but that's not why they was ruling at the time they were ruling. They were ruling because they were one of the dopest or the dopest person spitting at that time, lyrically
You're right.
inclined. And so what happened was the invent of the hip hop hit and hip hop becoming a $1 billion industry pushed out all of the blue collar good music in hip hop. So all of those people who listen to X Clan, that type of music was being pushed out for more commercial, more gangster, because that we know that's gonna sell. They're gonna have the one song about drinking, that's gonna pop. Or they're gonna have the one song about smoking, or that's gonna pop. And have the one song about sex, that's gonna pop. And that's all they wanted out of hip hop. And so we fast
Yeah,
forward to
that's sad, man. Because I think for me, um, hip hop, what it did for me was help build my self esteem. Um, it made me cherish my mind. Like I couldn't wait to read different books because I wanted new information. Um, it made me feel secure in who I was. At first, I think I had to come to grips with my inadequacies and the things that I lacked. And then at the same time, I said, you know what? I may lack this, but I do have this, and so forth. And I think that helped develop me. I love hip hop. I love rapping. I love, as you already know, I love battling. Um, I may sound sophisticated at times, but hip hop, I was completely ignorant. I was ignorant as all get out. Like I'm messing up people's shows. I'm battling. I'm just everywhere. I'm all over the country. I'm not trying to even sign a record deal. My friends would be mad at me, like, "Boy, we trying to get a record deal, and you trying to battle the whole label," you know. But I think it really inspired me, man, and it gave me passion. And the one thing I tell people all the time, I say, you know, and I don't want to be too nostalgic, but when we think of the classic hip hop songs that we hear or love, I keep telling people that the only educated teenagers, not college graduates, wrote these songs. These were teenagers in a project in their rooms, hooking up with a DJ, making classic songs that we love. And so I do believe the modern hip hop, whatever, we still had that same wonderful energy in the youth. Um, I just think that the powers that be with the media and everything else take that energy and funnel it in a direction that's probably not as fruitful as it may have been before. So hopefully, sooner or later, the new generation will take their energy and put it in a better direction. Because I like a lot of people, and then I be mad because I don't catch on. And you know, big shout out to Extension.
mm-hmm.
Hey man, I mean he's on my rotation. He's on my he's in my music catalog. Like I can't believe how talented he is. I even like golly, the white guy that passed away. Uh, I'm tripping.
uh
He
uh
overdosed.
damn, I want to say Post Malone, but it's not Post Malone.
He ain't Post Malone. Hey no.
Um
Like hey,
I
I
can't.
can't believe he just left my mind. But anyway, it's gonna come to it probably 20 minutes from now. But anyway, I really respect what he did. You could feel his pain, you could feel his passion, in everything he did. So I still love a lot of it. There's still some good music out there. I don't want to be again that old fuddy duddy and cursing it, whatever else. But yeah, I stayed in hip hop, man. It built me up. It also gave me the courage to venture out and to try to be a better person, better man, and refine myself as an individual, and not just settle for the role life gave me. So I really do love and appreciate hip hop. It's a big part of my life, and it helped me in many ways.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I would like to thank you from hip hop that we appreciate you being part of the fabric of hip hop. So I want to
Absolutely.
just based on the fact that your hard work and making yourself visible for others behind you to see how you move, see what you was doing to try to mimic that is very, very important. So I just want to
Mm,
thank you, and that's why you deserve your applause based off that alone. So here, let's do this, right? So I wanted to pick your brain because you're constantly saying very, what I would say, intelligent things about manhood and men's roles.
mm-hmm.
So my question is this: what is a man's role in a relationship? If I get you to summarize your viewpoint on a man's role within a romantic relationship?
Okay. Well, um, this comes from many years of trial and error, and it's still constantly evolving. Um, I believe men are creators. All right. I believe men are fruit bearers. Okay. I believe we um, are in a position to continue the existence of our bloodline, of the community, and everything else. And I believe that physically, mentally, emotionally, we are to produce life and produce fruit. That's the role of a man. Now, with that being said, we are in an environment that is not embracing a man's role as far as being the fruit bearer. Now, we want money, the fruit of money. We want the fruit of a home, of a car from that man. But as far as the direction, the wisdom, the knowledge, um, that is what's the new term they call toxic masculinity. Um, you're taking antisocial behaviors from some men, and then you're merging them with natural, necessary behaviors from males, and you're saying that that's toxic masculinity. So when you say the role of a man in a in a relationship, you have a man who say to somebody he's with, I need this to feel secure. I need this from you. I need you to put down your phone and pay me some attention. And that is viewed as infringement upon your love interest time. That's infringement upon uh, her free will to experience whatever she want to do. That's probably more important than your back or your sexual needs or your attention needs. And if you request for her to deviate from the shopping, online shopping, or the conversation she's having in the group chat, then you're a toxic male, and you basically a big old baby that require attention like a little boy, and you just need to suck it up and respect her boundaries. But but show up with that check, make sure the bills are paid, and take her shopping and provide all the little photo ops for the social media. That's the role. The role of a man has been reduced to that of a prop, in my opinion, in a lot of areas.
Okay, so let me ask you this then: do you see men becoming better, and how do you think men are going to go about it? And to give you a little background, right? So when I say, do you see men becoming better, as not placing any of the blame on women, let's keep the spotlight on men and say, well, all right, how do men portray, learn the proper masculinity that they need, um, to develop their loyalty that they need and their leadership skills? How do we as men do those type of things? How do we get there? Right? Say you're lacking in leadership. Say you're lacking in your pure masculinity, and you're trying to find your way. How do I acquire those skills as a man?
First and foremost, let me tell you what it starts with. It starts with a male feeling loved by another male.
Okay.
Love from another male, and I, you know, hope that everyone understands that men need to feel love and security as little boys from older men for guidance in a healthy way. Because being a boy, or being, and I'm speaking from a male's point of view, but any child, you are born into a world you have no clue about, right? The things that guide us in our youth are all chemical and are all chemical based and are all found in our DNA makeup. The information we get is basic needs at first. So you're hungry. That's your body. You ain't got to tell your body, hey, be hungry. Your body gonna let you know I'm hungry. Needing warmth or needing physical touch as a baby. I need to be held. You're not going to say, you know what, I ain't been held in a long time. You know what your body's going to do? It's going to require or want the warmth from a mom or a father. Certain things are going to take care of itself. Now, as you start to develop and you mature, you're venturing off. You start off crawling and then you learn how to walk and you start encountering your environment. Well, in your environment, let's say I see a little toy. I like my toy. I put it in my mouth. Now, do I know that this is a toy and I can put it in my mouth? No, I just do it because our first instincts that kicked in. We learn how to eat and we learn our environment for putting things in our mouth. But guess what? When we have a parent involved, they let us know, don't put that in your mouth. Don't do this. Don't do that. And then that's when our indoctrination begins. So some indoctrination is very good and very useful for young men and for young children in totality. With that being said, don't forget those chemicals are still working. And now, for some reason, if you have boys, there's some things you ain't got to teach a boy. I don't care what nobody says. You leave a kid to themselves, you ain't got to say nothing. For some reason, and boys just tend to do some stuff. You be like, what? Why would you do that? So let's take an example of a toy. Back to that toy. The toy you put in your mouth, and it's a little squeezy toy. Okay, fine. I'm going to give you a car. You're like, I'm going to put the car. Now I don't put that car in your mouth. It moves. It does this. And you show the kid, ooh, man, that's sweet. And you pull the car back. I remember I bought my son's the little car you can pull back and let go, right? Yeah, and you be like, man, that's cool. And they'll do that for a minute. But you know what? Just give them a minute. Watch what they're going to do with that car. Some in their mind, some in their DNA says, you know what? Let me pull this car back and let it go down the stairs.
Yep.
Let me pull this car back and see it. Oh, and then you be like, man, you broke your car. But it was an urge for them to do something. You be like, why did you do that? For some reason, some young boy wants to climb on top of something and jump off and want to do some things that now you be like, that's kind of dangerous. But these are some instincts that are kicking in that are out of our control. Who better to help a young person, a young man, learn how to control some natural instincts of the environment he's about to face better than an older male?
I would say no one. The answer to that is no one.
Right. And I did say who's better. I didn't say nobody else couldn't do it. That is not what I said. I just said who's better was, hey, man, I feel this way. Okay, this is how I felt when I was that age, and this is what I learned from a male's perspective. Because guess what? I base, male and all that other stuff on chemicals. See, the chemical input is what it is. It just is what it is. Don't get me wrong. Everybody don't have the same output of testosterone and estrogen and whatnot, and don't have the same chemical balance as other people. Fine. But most of the time, and when I say most, I always try to preface this whenever I speak, I just mean 51%. So that don't mean 90% of men are taking a car and jumping down some stairs. But most men can relate to other men doing stuff. You be like, what the hell? And you just know that's how dudes do. We just do certain things, and you overwhelmingly is going to get a response from young men that older men can relate to, and then the younger men might feel awkward. So let's just imagine a younger man doing a behavior or activity around a female. An indoctrinated female at that. Somebody who knows what life is, socialized and whatever else, a little older, but not really in tune with the male, how they move and how they interact and the chemical, all this, whatever. The female may appear to the male and be like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? And might be shocked. Or maybe make the young male feel like bad or rejected or shamed, right?
Right.
And you have a lot of times where young men are being shamed over natural activities because they don't have the tutelage from an older male, right?
Yeah, but
they're being shamed by a female.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then those natural instincts of being a young man, guess what the male will then do? He'll now say, okay, if I act like that, mom doesn't like that, or auntie or whoever don't like that. I better not act like that. So how can I be safe in the environment I'm in?
To act like the people that's in the environment. You're 100% correct.
Right.
So here, let me ask you one more question. Something that's short and sweet.
Okay.
Do you think that as men we can correct that by becoming more involved and starting programs? I've had a couple questions asked to me during my Sunday night rant, and one of them was about programs for men, and we were talking about programs for youthful boys, but I was thinking more along the lines of programs for men to help to channel good men's energy back into the community. So to get men to some like the Boys and Girls Club, you know what I mean? Do you think that can help change the tide?
I will keep it short because I'm going to say this. I just don't believe people want to help at this time heterosexual males be full heterosexual males. Like, and I don't mean nothing against it. I'm just saying to have the full display of a heterosexual male, especially black male. Matter of fact, let me just be honest. I'm speaking from a black perspective. A fully immersed male, heterosexual male in this society would not be a welcome sight overall. That's just my opinion. If you just leave certain males alone, they'll get it together. Because nature always heals itself. And no matter whatever you're talking about, this is fact. This is a jewel for anybody. This is something somebody cannot overcome this. If you leave nature alone, if you just leave it alone, forget making a program, forget doing anything, just remove anything that's unnatural from something that's natural, and the natural will take over. Easy. That fact is indisputable. Nature will always win. The problem is you got to remove the barriers and the obstacles away from the natural thing that is unnatural to let it heal itself. So, for example, whatever we may say is causing the disruption with young males and older males, just get it out the way. So you can come up with whatever you come up with that may be getting in the way of males, just remove it. And after a while, the individual male will begin to heal, and he will pass down the healing to his children and his children's children, and it will go so forth. It'll take care of itself. In quick summation, if you have a horrible oil spill in the Atlantic Ocean, thousands of fish, if not millions, would die, right? Wildlife would die. Seals would die. But whatever would happen, would happen. But if you leave that ocean alone without no cleanup, without nothing, it may take a while, right? But sooner or later, it will heal itself. So, in quick response to making programs. I think almost that's the same old 1940s, 20s, 60s. We've been saying that just forever. We don't need no damn club. We need people to leave healthy males alone and let other healthy males help younger healthy males get their stuff together. Quit interfering. Quit bending a young man's mind towards your comfortable status. If he's not endangering you, if he's not violating you, let this young man develop. Then it'll take care of itself.
Okay.
But getting a big club for grown men, see, that's the problem. People think almost, and it comes really with black males, that we almost grown infants. You have people, I know we're talking about relationships, that regard their man or their male like he a kid. And I don't mean, I'm talking about like really, they expect them like, you know, like he a kid.
Okay, how about this?
He's a grown man. Now, I'm not saying a grown man can't be questioned, but I'm saying you only want him to respond to the things you like. You only want him to respond to how you think he should be. It's very similar to the young boy who's being taught about this environment and world where he's interacting with a mom or older female who's not accustomed to the aggressiveness of a young boy and takes it as a threat, even though the young boy ain't even being threatened. As a father, I got 4 sons.
Mm-hmm.
I interact based on the screams I hear as they're growing up. There's a kind of scream and yell that, okay, they'll get it together. And I ain't even paying no mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as I don't hear the scream to make me come running, I'm good. Because guess what? As a father, I know a big thing that these young men have to learn is called conflict resolution.
Say that one more. You gotta say that word.
Conflict resolution.
There you go.
They gotta figure out how to make some things happen when it don't seem like it can happen. And if I'm always in the way, and I'm always telling them what to do, what to think, blah blah blah, oh my goodness, will they ever be able to survive on their own?
No.
That is the philosophy of a lot of men who I never met. And that's the philosophy of a lot of men who've never heard me speak or conversation-wise. You know why? Because it's in the DNA of men to figure things out.
Well, you're fixers. And so as men, as fixers, we are constantly in the state of mind to how to make the situation better. So an easy way to diagnose that is, remember when you was watching White Man Can't Jump?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say it's her and Woody Harrelson in the room, and she's discussing with him the water, and she was like, when I say I'm thirsty, you go and get water. And he's like, yes, I'm a man, you said you was thirsty, I'm capable of going to get you water, I got you water to quench your thirst. Now the add-on would be, in my mind, so you can shut the hell up, right? For her next line to him is, no, that's not what I want. The reason why I told you I was thirsty is so that you can sympathize with me. So you can have the sympathy, right? And we can discuss the sympathy of me being thirsty and being parched. And he said, oh, so you don't want the water. Excuse me. He was reinforcing that as men, we are purely fixers. Our job is to fix whatever the problem is. That's why it's healthy for women to have women groups and men to have men groups. Because in a woman's group, they're going to have sympathy for you and they're going to empathize with you, right? But as men, we will go and have conversations with men, and we will have logical conversations to form plans to do the next thing. So how about this? How about we take a quick commercial break?
Okay.
Right. And then we'll come back from the commercial break. And then I got a couple more building better men questions to ask you. Okay.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right. Stock the bar vodka made right here in Michigan. Distilled from Michigan red winter wheat. The red winter wheat provides this drink with one of the smoothest flavors known to man. Stock the bar vodka. Premium quality. Our motto is smooth taste with a purpose. And now, the official sponsor of Shots Fired Podcast. Stock the bar vodka. Pour up a glass. Drink with a purpose.
Yeah, you know what it is. Shots Fired Podcast popping.
Hey, are you tired of having that upset stomach, that bubbly guts feeling? Then I need you to get with Tyrone's Gas X. That's right, Tyrone's Gas X is known to stop upset stomach, farting, wet farting, hard farting, bubble guts, squishy guts, and the runs.
Please use as directed. Side effects may be hair loss, weakness of jawline, weakness of pull-out game, limp dick, and pimples.
Tyrone's Gas X. Stop you from having that shitty feeling.
Welcome back to Shots Fired with Simon Phoenix.
Yo. So, getting back, copping it up with Will. I'm giggling because I know where this conversation is going, but I don't care. So,
Okay.
so I'm gonna ask you this, right? So, recently to keep it in the relationships and making men better. Recently, I had put up my Sunday post, yo, give me some stuff to rant about. And one of the things that came up after the show was actually up and aired was, why do men cheat? I always find this to be funny based off of, ladies, how many times do men have to tell you? Men cheat for some specific reasons, and normally they have nothing to do with you. So that's my 2 cents. I'm going to come back, though. I'm going to let you get yours in. I'm going to come back, though.
Okay.
So, sir, why do...
So you want me to answer that question?
Yeah, I want you to answer, why do men cheat?
Okay. So this is with me. I never nothing gonna give you nothing easy, but here's the thing. I and whatever I say, I want, analyze it. Whoever hear this, analyze what I'm saying. Cheating, the concept of cheating that's being pushed is being pushed like a horror story to heterosexual females about men. Okay? Females are more concerned with a man cheating on them than beating their ass. These women getting their ass whooped every day. You don't hear about it. They don't talk about it, this and that. Dude, as long as he whoop their ass and don't cheat, everything good. Dude can gamble the whole house away and they good. He can drink himself drunk and they good. He can have no job and they good. Hell, he can molest their kids and they good.
Really?
You're not ready for this.
Do you really?
They good.
You picked the worst one. All right,
they good. Everything cool.
Look, I got hit people with the disclaimer. Hey, the views of Big Will has nothing to do with Shots Fired. We are not responsible for their viewpoints, nor have we endorsed them. Please, sir, continue.
Dude.
But I know the point you're trying to get at. I get it. You're going down the line saying that cheating is held to the highest, utmost standard,
right,
against all the other worst crimes you can do. That's the point you're trying to make. Not saying that.
And so what I'm trying to say is, it's irrational. First and foremost, the approach. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying the approach is like irrational. Like what? Like you consume with that. So now let's just say that. Let's just say, okay, the guy doesn't cheat, and everything else is okay, and it's not.
Well, of
like
course.
something's wrong with that.
But look. Let's keep it a buck. of course, you're going to have the groups of women that are going to hear this and they're going to be like, well, no, that would be good. That if he didn't cheat and he kept his hands to himself and he brought in some money and he was kind and he wasn't creepy, right? That's good.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying to you is, right, that yes, cheating is put at a dumbass plateau by women. It's put so high on the pedestal of things not to do that it's ridiculous. But, right, as I said before, trying to keep the spotlight on men. As a man, I want to know your viewpoint of why men cheat.
So, again, I'm going to say this. Here's the issue. Who do you find, anything you ask me, this time, and I've read, and I know a lot of different things.
Oh, wait, you need me to trap you in the corner to get you to answer how I need you to answer?
No, I'm about to answer. You really can't trap me in the corner.
No, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is I can set parameters to get the answer I'm looking for. Like the answer I'm looking for is very simple. Women want, when they ask this question, right?
I'm about to tell them.
They want a super simple answer. That's what they want.
No,
they need you.
Ain't no simple answer because it's so irrational. Their concept of cheating is so irrational. They don't even know how irrational it is. So I gotta at least help them know how irrational it is.
Well, look, even if you let them know, they're not going to accept that. That's the reason why I'm telling you. That's the reason why I'm saying it to you.
Guess what I would never do.
They're not going to accept that.
Guess what I would never do. In no relationship, in any friendship, relationship, do I jump in your crazy boat with you. I'm not going to say the house on fire and it's not, and you cooking chicken. I'm not. I'm not going to yell, "Is the house on fire?" and it ain't.
Well,
but if I ask you, why do you think the house on fire? Is there something burning up? No, but it's about to.
Well, look, I know, and men know, right? Just from a mathematical equation, right? This is what I tell women all the time. I said, this is real. This is the real reason why men cheat. That realistically, it's not set up for each one of you to have a mate forever that no one else gets to mate with. I said, it's not set up like that. And it was like, you really? And I would go, yes, really, there's not enough. I said, if whoever you believe in religiously showed up and said, hey, for the one time only, I'm going to put everybody with the person they supposed to be with. All y'all got to do is stand here. I'm going to come and tap you on the shoulder, and then that person will stand next to you once I tap you. Right?
You said something very important. Let's just jump in real quick, because I know a lot of people use religion as their moral compass and their base. Ask them whatever religion they believe in, of all the holy men that they looked up to and listened to, that they read, whatever, ask them how many of them had one wife.
Well, they're going to tell you that it came from a region and a time period where people did that. I'm telling you the deflections, but here's look, if you let me finish, they're still ruined by the math. You don't have to tell them anything else. The math proves it just by itself.
Oh, I know that.
But that's all I'm trying to get to, though. They have to hear it. That's what I'm saying. Me and you know it, but they don't.
Because I try to listen.
Because the real answer is, well, ladies, if whoever you believed in showed actually up and said, everybody here, I'm going to tap you, you're going to get your soulmate. After they tapped every man, there would still be women left. That means somebody ain't getting somebody. Listen, it's more women being produced than men, period. So even if you all got one, nature, that's why everything you said to me is 100% correct from my viewpoint, based off just the math. Like the math explains it on its own. That in reality, the reason why once mandom had got to a point where we were reproducing people in the regions at a rate that we were sustaining humanity, then it turned into there was way more girls than there were boys. So boys were always way more useful. Why? Because he can be used to protect. Why? Because he can be used to do hard labor, to help us build, to expand. Why? Because hopefully as a man, he can make another man, because he has the ability to make people. What did you say earlier? All of those things make sense. We got to a point where we have made it so squishy, right? As humanity, we've gotten so good at keeping ourselves safe, as making shelters, making weapons, that our only threat is us against us. Right? That's where we are now in society. The real threat against mankind is us. We gonna kill ourselves off because we can't agree, because we too smart for our own damn good. But that's it. we live in a cushy environment as society. So women have now thought that monogamy and a man not cheating is the pinnacle of what she deserves in every relationship. When in actuality, and I'm not saying, because then I'm going to let you smoke. I'm going to let you burn.
Okay.
But in actuality, for women, the pinnacle of a good man in a relationship is a man that is pouring in his intelligence and his resources into you. Because there's a distinct difference from a man who went out and had a good time and got drunk and slept with someone he shouldn't have, and he's never put a dime into her whatsoever. But you're the wife and you have a nice car, a nice home, your children are taken care of, you have trust fund. That is not the worst crime ever painted like that. And I get where women are coming from, but you're holding it at such high esteem that it makes it a problem. Now, sir, you can say what you like to say.
So I don't want to give the impression I'm saying that men should just be allowed to sleep with whoever they want to do and blah, blah, blah. That is not what I'm saying. I'm addressing the topic that when I said earlier, I said what? Nature heals itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said it. I believe that. See, I believe whatever I believe in totality. And when you said females outnumber men, right?
Yes.
Not all men going to deal with multiple women minds or experiences, or they are certain.
It's
men
a
are
hassle.
just a certain way.
Just say
Right.
what it is. It's a hassle. Everybody pretends like having a bunch of women is some easy shit to do. It is a hassle.
Right.
To juggle
Right.
multiple women is a headache. That's why everybody can't be a pimp.
Right. And see, but here's the thing. There's certain things I want to separate. See, I want to separate something real quick. I incorporate my knowledge base in a lot of things that come from me being black. And slavery is one of them. Okay? And when it comes to black people, they always want to put a negative twist on a natural phenomenon. This is facts. This is facts. So when a white person do it, it's sister wives. Okay? It's sister wives. When we do it, it's hoes, pimps, side chicks, this, and that.
Well,
now,
but look, they're going to hide behind the sister wives when they say to you that that's a new terminology, and it came from Mormons. You know that's what they're going to use as their defense.
So guess what? There's nothing that Europeans follow of any culture that Africans didn't do first. What do you think happened? Before European domination, 85% of the world lived in a polygamous lifestyle civilization. And it was not based on money. Just to cut to the chase, I know people say, well, he got to be rich. But what's funny, the same females who was talking monogamy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How many future concerts are dudes going to? How many dudes is buying a bunch of future concert tickets? Nobody. Dudes ain't buying them tickets. Women are buying those tickets.
But look, here's the problem, right? This is what they fail to realize, and this is why I went through the whole it's cushy. Before, in society, that if you was a man and you could go out and you figured out how to say, oh, you know what? I got 8 chickens, I got 6 cows, and I got this many crops growing, right? And I'm working it, and I'm getting so much that I got a couple people that help me out, and then they get to keep some of the crops, and they doing good because we just overflowing with stuff. I got me a wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
That in that little area, it's gonna be a bunch of chicks. And it ain't gonna be no men for them chicks. So society then had to say, okay, well, look, we can't leave her at her daddy house for him to take care of her, because if he mess around and have 4 chicks, that's a lot of chicks to feed. Right?
Well,
hold on, let me
real quick.
finish. Then I'll let you get back in. So those communities was like, oh, it's better off if the dude who has enough to take care of her and feed her, he can have more than one wife. He can have more than one.
I gotta just say one thing, because I wanted to stop you where you gotta remember they used to pay men to marry their daughters. See, people don't know history.
Yes.
Families gave dowries to men to take my daughter.
Yes, because
That's facts.
yes,
Like they would say, "Hey, come get my daughter.
I'll give you
I'll
so many
give
cows,
you this
so much land.
if you marry my daughter. I'll give you this amount of money if you marry my daughter. I'll give you this part of land if you marry my daughter." Well, I already have 2 wives. Well, I know you do, so that's why I'm going to give you 15 acres of land and 7 cows to take my daughter. Because she's getting old and she don't have any kids, and I want grandkids. That's fact and that's history.
Yes.
And it's not told, it's not talked about.
Well, that's because humanity had to continue to move forward and the numbers meant something. The problem, like I said, is when you get to civilized humanity right now, because we are so civilized and we have an abundance of the things to take care of you, and it's in society's best interest from a financial gain to have women be gainfully employed because they make up the largest number in the demographic pool.
So, I don't want to get...
So to keep it back on, so let's go back to cheating, right? The whole reason why men wind up cheating is this. And I'm going to give a shout out to Fresh and Fit. That this analogy I got from them, they're a podcast, and they're based out of Miami. They have excellent content. So Fresh and Fit, Myron is one of the dudes that's on the show. So Myron says this, and this to me is the exact reason why men cheat, but women don't get it. Say there's a candy store, and this candy store has all the candy that you can ever imagine, has any candy you've ever had from any place in the world. You're allowed in the candy store when you turn 18 as a woman. As a man, you're not allowed in the candy store until you turn 35. Women get in the candy store, they walk around when they turn 18, they go and eat gummy bears, they go eat Snicker bars, they go eat all the candy they can find. They automatically know I'm not eating candy corn, so on and so forth, right? Men finally get into the candy store at 35. Men walk into the candy store, they're walking around, you see one dude, he eating candy corn, you like, bro, why? He like, nigga, I ain't never had candy corn. It's just delicious. You look over, it's another man, he 35, he over there smashing chocolate. You see another dude, he's smashing the gummy bears, right? So the women walk up and say, why are you over here eating this when you could be somewhere eating the finest of the chocolate? And men are like, I just got in here 30 seconds ago. Back up off me. The moral of this is this, that women's worth to society is inherent. It comes automatically with being a woman based on the fact that you can bear children and you are the gatekeepers of sex. There's your worth at 18. When you turn that age, you are allowed technically to date everybody. Right? As a man, normally men have to get to 35 so they can be at their peak of having their things together, that women will now pay attention to them. That means they have their life together, their money together, their body together, and they're psychologically ready for relationships that are meaningful. That is the peak of when most men start getting real access to women to have sex. That's when you run across your best chicks. Based off, men can still always date down. So if you got your money and your life together and you walk into a McDonald's and she's super fine and she's 20, she's still going to want to mess with you at 35 because you got your life together. Women don't get that because they're always being approached until they hit the magical wall. This is why men wind up cheating, because a lot of times women don't understand is that when women get us, right? You get us, we kind of scruffy. You say, hey, I'm gonna get your face together, line you up. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, oh, that look nice on you. This look nice on you. Get your man all together, right? At the same time, he building himself. He start to get fly. He's starting to get money. He put himself in bad situations because now he's being offered buns that he wasn't being offered previously. And he's not used to that to defend himself.
And that's a perspective.
And that's one level of it. And on another level, yes, I do totally know that there's guys out there who just instinctively, inherently, they cheat. They like to have a lot of women, and then that idea, I always tell women, is based off the fact that he can't tell you, I like you, and I want to put my resources in you. And we can't, and a lot of men just don't feel like they can be honest. And it takes for you to have big balls as a man to tell women the super truth, because I know the super truth don't work.
So what I'm saying is, I just can't join the horror show of cheating, like that terminology. Yes, there are men who lie to their spouses. There's men that lie to people they dating with, and they just out there banging, doing all kind of stuff, right? But again, I'm going back to strengthening and empowering males, back to the chemical base of a male, back to the natural instinct of a male, okay? Back to, when we say civilization, we got to quit thinking that civilization means 2021, computers, Wi-Fi. That is not civilization. Africa had a civilization that worked for hundreds and thousands of years. And suddenly you're trying to say that we better off now? And what's crazy is the same thing still exists, they just have different titles. And we have a different psychological approach to them. So you still got to do with 15, 20 kids, right? And he still got 5 different baby mamas. But instead of them being his wives, they're his baby mamas now. They're his side chicks now.
Right. And then and it makes him.
There's nothing new under the sun.
No, but it never
they
is.
Just change the way we look at it.
Yeah, because now we look at it in a terrible, bad way. So let me ask you this. So let me ask you this then, right? So we talked about cheating, and me and you both are like, in a nutshell, there's a lot of things to unpack as men's view of cheating, and
that's a whole show by itself.
And we all of the things that we've learned and seen as people and how society is set up now, we as men are at the disadvantage where what we're really being told is, look, that sexual monogamy is at the highest price. And to tell someone that you're going to be sexual monogamous means that you're going to keep your word. So for me, right, the end of the argument boils down to not the cheating, but you breaking your word, which still is going against being a man, in my personal opinion. That if you are out here telling people I'm not going to do, or I am going to do, you should do. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And that for me is the reason why I side with women on cheating, but not for reasons why they think. Like, I'm on your side for cheating. I'm a dude to say all the time, I don't cheat when I'm in. If I say that's my woman, I'm not fucking with nobody else. When I say, hey, we're not together, I'm not together, hey, all bets is off, unless stated otherwise. That being said, right, there's men out there who will say what I just said and then do the polar opposite, and then I can understand why women are brokenhearted based off feelings, and because you feel like you put yourself out there and he doing whatever, and you could have been doing whatever, right?
Right.
So I get that from women.
To a degree.
Yeah, I mean, I get that point. For me, that's the reason why it makes sense. That's the only reason why it makes sense, is because I gave you my word I wouldn't. So therefore I shouldn't, because I gave you my word. So I always tell dudes.
I gotta say this. Now, another side of my concept of cheating, you let women off the hook. Because, like, I always ask, like everybody worried about stereotypical the concept of a hoe, right? Everybody go, ooh, then he out there messing with these hoes, right? These hoes. I just want to know what factory make hoes, what state do hoes come from, and who are hoes kin to. Because last time I checked, they women, they messing with other women. They messing with your cousin, your sister, your auntie, your mama, whoever. How many women are helping their? If you ever look at women, observe them when they catch a woman cheating. There is no judgment whatsoever.
Well,
overwhelmingly, women approve of other women cheating. Overwhelmingly.
The
If you
problem
observe
is
social media,
the,
you don't hear a big backlash
the
of
problem
women
is they
talking.
don't. You
They'll
can't.
say she must have had a reason.
That's because she can't hold that. Women don't want to hold each other's feet to the fire. I had a whole argument in a post about that. That based off of cheating, right? When women discuss cheating, cheating is an ultimate crime based off you being a man. You have sex with somebody else. Her feelings is hurt. You a dirtbag, so on and so forth. But on the other end, right? I always tell women, men couldn't cheat who are in committed relationships that are publicly known, meaning that it is really cheating, not your view of cheating, but really cheating, right? That being said, I was like, when women know that that man's in a monogamous relationship and they still try to sleep with him, where is the sisterhood then? And where
Can I say
is
something?
and hold on, let me finish.
Let me say
And
something
where
real
in
quick.
the black girl or women backlash? Because that's unfair to men. If a woman knows that you are a celebrity, like you take a celebrity star and then some woman sleeps with that man, knowing that he has a celebrity star as a girlfriend, and she still sleeps with that dude, the backlash on her should be a tidal wave because you're breaking the sisterhood, and women don't do that. Now say whatever you like.
But the sisterhood is. See, here's the thing. I want to show you two points. Remember back just a while ago, you were talking about math, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe what you're saying already. I already know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I already believe in the natural instinct of life. I submit to life, period, in my mind, conceptually. We submit to it unknowingly. Like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. Women also know that there's more women than men. Okay? If you telling me, okay, if you told me if I was a female, I'd probably be, it wouldn't be good. Because I can't accept to say, okay, this person can have somebody, that person can have somebody, and that person can have somebody. But I'm going to sit in this corner and go, I guess I ain't going to be able to have nobody. I tell you what, y'all all lost y'all mind. Everybody lost. So maybe it's a good thing I'm not a woman. Because ain't no way on earth that I'm a human being. I want affection. I want conversation. I want attention. I want companionship. And the math sit there and tell me that I can't have nobody. Oh no. It's not going to go down like that. It's inconceivable to actually want women to subscribe to basically die alone. I know that Kevin Samuels say that in times, because he's saying sometimes like if women don't change their ways, you're just going to die alone. But honestly, if based on math, if everybody linked up mathematically, there's going to be women that don't have a mate. And again, I said before, nature always takes care of itself. Some things are unnatural. We are growing up in a time where we are taking concepts that have existed thousands, hundreds of thousands of years before us and saying, oh, that way didn't work. While people who know the truth use our ignorance to their benefit. So I'm not giving any pat. I sympathize with anybody who don't have somebody that loves them.
Okay, so let me get you to answer this then. Let me see if you'll answer this. So do you agree then that for men, right, that if you have given your word to somebody that you weren't going to cheat and you do, that you're wrong? Will you agree that's wrong?
Now we getting into.
I think that's a simple concept. I think it's a simple concept based on the fact you gave your word.
Listen, there's no moral compass that strong in any human that can stick to. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna make a mistake. This is and that. I can't hold no human to that standard. That's irrational. It's irrational.
You're right, but right to strive for it is the purpose, right? So I feel like that's what make you a good man. So prime example, me telling other artists, rappers, comedians, writers, poets, whatever, hey, you could come on my show. We gonna chop it up. I'm gonna give you a platform and some time to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That when people jump in my inbox and say, "Can I come on the show?" I tell them yes, based off the fact of that's what I said my show's core thing was about. I don't hold no grudges. I'm not trying to play boss. I'm not trying to play gatekeeper. I'm not doing none of that. Like I told you before, when it comes to people asking me about knowledge of how to podcast, how you started, what you got to have, all those things, I just spill when they ask. Hey, nigga, you got to do this, and this. And you was like, man, you just...
Okay, question.
Right.
I got a quick question.
Okay.
Based on what you just said. So, if you signed up MC Popsicle to appear on Thursday's show, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then Talib Kweli was in on Wednesday, and he can appear for Thursday's show at the same time slot that you had MC Popsicle. Would you keep your word and deny Talib Kweli from appearing on your show and let MC Popsicle have that time like you promised him?
Yes, based off the fact.
You're an idiot.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Hey man, listen, come on, man. Stop it, bro. Ain't nowhere on earth. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, MC Popsicle hit.
Look.
I'm using that.
No. I mean, you painted the worst scenario, so I'm going to give the worst answer. Me being me as an asshole, yes, I would still do it for MC Popsicle because I said I would, and I'm gonna tell you why. I have been a victim of multiple times people telling me they were going to do and did not, and I be trying my hardest. If I said it, I know how to talk around not saying it. That's the difference. Like most people aren't. So what I'm painting the picture of you is I am a dirtbag and I'm a person who speaks very well. So I will answer a person's question based off how much I feel like I'm going to do the thing they're asking me. Right? That's how I answer the question. So then I can always go back and say, I know I said this. This is what you said. And they go, you're right. And I say, I know I'm right because I dirtbagged you when I answered your question to begin with. I did it on purpose. So if I told MC Popsicle, you could come on the show at 8 o'clock, best believe he on the show at 8 o'clock because I said that to him and I trapped myself into living by what I said to him because best believe I would be doing everything I could, even if it was like, hey, bro, I got Talib Kweli. He on the line, my dude. So you might have an interview with Talib Kweli and fuck around and mute his ass. And that's how dirtbag it. I mean, I don't know how I muted Popsicle. What is Popsicle? You still there? Popsicle, you on the line? That's what I'd be doing.
Basically, you still so that's what I'm saying. In words, you may have kept your word, but in deed you didn't.
But I mean, that's still keeping my word. You're right.
Let me say this.
You're right, but it's the semantics of it.
I don't want to belittle relationships with that little scenario I gave.
Right.
People's hearts and feelings are involved in all things, right? Mm-hmm. But I believe in all people. See, here's the thing: everybody's feelings is involved, and nobody can figure out relationships. If anybody had to figure it out, bro, they'd be rich. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now there's some people that figured out how to manipulate relationships. That's why they rich. And they gave us certain rules and certain expectations to our women. That's why they're getting rich off of it. Like if you look at your boy, what's the word, Jackson?
Derek Jackson,
whatever.
Derek Jackson.
Okay. Yo, man, he was the biggest. Now that's the pimp. He spit game. But here the thing is, real dudes knew he was spitting game years ago. Because he was the type of dude growing up that probably never got any play. He was corny.
Well, look,
he couldn't do certain stuff, and so he catered. That's when we talk about simps and stuff. A simp will give irrational catering and irrational pandering to females to play on their emotions to get sex from them. He don't really even value them as a female or a woman, but he tell them irrational stuff to get sex. That's what that dude D. Jackson did. But then you take a regular dude, right, who is put in an irrational situation, like sometimes women want to do to lie to them. So, for example, y'all dating for two months or 2 weeks, and it's cool all good, right? And the chick might want to sleep with the guy, right? And they 2 weeks in. Now, she has told him from the beginning, she go to church, I'm a Christian, I'm this, and that, and I ain't going to be with no man that don't love me sexually. I mean, cool. She set the boundaries and the standards, right? But 2 weeks in, she want to get it in with old boy. You know what that female would do, that righteous, God-fearing, holy female? She'll then say 2 weeks into that dude, while she done got him hard and bothered and all this other stuff, do you love me? You tell me you love me. You can have everything. And this dude, all excited, all amped up,
We'll tell you anything.
list.
We'll tell you anything you want to hear. If you said, I always tell women that. I said, hey, look here, man. If you got the control of busting the nut, you can literally ask a man, hey, will you go outside and slap the biggest, toughest person that you see? The first person you see that look like they just punch people in the face and they just crumple. Will you go and slap them and be like, I love tacos? She got your dick in your hand. Yes, I sure will. I have no problem going out there and slapping.
The underplay for the overplay is this. She really know that it's probably irrational for him to really love her at this point, and he probably really don't. But to cover her own lustful ways or her own lustful tracks and her own egotistical value system, she just wants to get him on record to say, he told me he loved me. That's why I did that. No. You did it because you wanted to. You just wanted this. You knew this dude. One thing women know, if they can get us aroused, they can, we're a lot more complicit to the things they desire.
Yes.
Now, that's the difference between a simp and a guy that, now the simp, though, already knows that the women want them to lie. So he'll just lie from the beginning and just tell them irrational stuff. Girl, I can't believe that. I can't believe they fired you for stealing money. Girl, that outfit look good on you, even though you got dudes things on it. I mean, they'll just tell me insane things because they don't even care about that person. They don't care about the outcome of that person. They only care about gratifying themselves.
Well, they're gonna yes man that person all the way, based on the fact that me yes manning you would get what I want. Oh man, you like plums? I'm gonna bring you some plums. Oh, you smoke big weed? I'm bring you some weed. Oh, you love drinking Hennessy? All right, bring the Hennessy. Ah, girl, you want to go into the discotheque? Let me pay for the discotheque. Hey, Simps will do all of that stuff. They would yes man you to death in the haps of trying to get it. And when you talk about a person like Derek Jackson, Derek Jackson basically told women all they want to hear, that yes, men are dirtbags. We do a bunch of dirtbag stuff, and it's true. Nothing he was saying.
I don't know if it's true. I don't want to.
Well, what I mean by
I don't want to prescribe to the concept of, okay, just because you do for a female don't necessarily mean you're a simp.
No, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is the light I painted was exactly what it was. You know what I mean by that. I'm not saying a dude who's doing it out of gesture of I care. It's his hard-earned money. He really trying to just make you happy. Not based off I'm trying to make you happy to have sex. I just want to make you happy. I just want to see you with a smile on your face. Right?
There's no price tag on real affection.
Yeah. Those two things are different. Those two things are different elements. But what I am saying is there's guys who will jump through all the hoops, will say what they got to say to get them some, which is what I believe you're pointing out. And all I'm saying is the Derek Jacksons of the world play on women who thought they had decent men, but they knew they really didn't. That she was lying to herself. I always tell women a lot of times you're having a whole emotional conversation with you. You came up with this conclusion. You came up with this plan. You came up with what it was going to be. And then when you referred with the dude, he was like, well, that's not where I was at. And then they'd be like, well, how we wasn't on the same page? And the dude was like, I don't know. Because you didn't ask me how I felt about any of this right here, right? And a lot of times as men, we're trapped in those kind of bubbles and problems. So look here, I'm going to give you the last word because we didn't cook for about an hour. So I'm going to give you the last little bit. With this, right? That if you had 2 books for men to read to help them along their journey of being better men, what would you prescribe to them?
Okay. Again, I'm speaking from a black male's perspective. The miseducation of the Negro. we're talking about American black men too. The miseducation of the Negro is extremely profound. Extremely profound for black men to read. It's almost like, I almost believe it's almost the only book you really need as far as being an African American male. There's no, all these other books that people read and whatever else, they need that book most definitely.
Okay, what's your second book?
Oh, shucks.
And if you don't have an answer, that's fine.
The second book. I'm going to accept that most likely people read the Bible and this and that, and this is very. I would take them to the stories of the 12 sons of Jacob. It's in the Apocrypha. Those are very profound stories that kind of touch on multiple real life aspects of masculinity. And I'm talking about multiple and very, to somewhat harsh interactions between males and their environment. I think those are just very powerful stories that are very relatable to like every day. So I would recommend the Apocrypha because I know it's something different that people haven't read, and I think it would give some insight into how males interact with this world. Whether it's trying to do the right thing or getting caught up in the wrong thing, I think it's very profound because our control of ourselves, without the proper guidance, without the proper tutelage from older males, we kind of like learn our own. And right now we have a generation of young men who lack guidance. And when you think about certain books, we got to kind of see ourselves. So we have to have examples of ourselves that show failure. So that's why I hate getting caught up in this perfect romanticism is one of the most irrational philosophies known to man, but in our society we use it to sell lies.
Well, that's because
you are dealing with a human being, a flawed human being.
Well, that's because you're dealing with so many people who are coming from the bottom and can't psychologically deal with that. I will give you my 2 books though, and then I'm getting off the air. But
okay,
so my 2 books. Number 1, The Art of Deception. That's just, it is what it is. It for me, I always tell people if there's any book to put you on psychologically to understanding humanity as a whole, especially if you're a man and why you're dealing with certain psychological makeups of individuals, that is the book for you. Because once you read it, it's one of the books that will make a person be woke to understand the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And I really believe that for males, that is one of the greatest books ever.
Okay.
My second book is going to be based off of, I believe that all men need to understand how warfare works and how it applies to everyday life and actual business and actual dealing with other people. That war is very unique. And so I would pick another classic book that I believe everybody that's a man should read, and that's The Art of War. And the real reason I picked both of those books are based off the fact that even if you didn't have men in your life, even if you didn't have anybody that was a strong male role model, even if you missed all of those things, right? That if someone gave you both of those books early in life, and I want to say like 15, 16, and you had to really read those 2 books, and you had to really dig in there and you really paid attention, those 2 books will save your ass 95% of the time.
Those are 2 of my favorite books, and I've read both of them. And The Art of War is a hard read. If you read the original, that's not it's a hard read. It's a lot of philosophical points of views that that people don't get, and it has to be a breakdown. I would love, if you ever do a reading club, I would love to join that reading club for that book, to have different discussions with different men, because that is a profound book.
It is such a
lot
deep
of times
book.
people, what you say?
I said it is such a deep book. That book is just very, very deep. And I'm gonna say to you that, and then the art of deception is really just a book based off of knowing how people move and who they become based off their life, and then that and what they need that you can provide and why you are providing that thing. And it's really deep for men, because if you're a man and you see how to really work the book, and my whole life, once I read the book, I have always employed its methods, and it has never steered me wrong. Been part of my personal fabric in life is to be able to walk up to people, talk to them for 20 minutes, and be able to identify if they're a falling star. You know, oh yeah, you used to be somebody, and this is why your attitude's like that. Gotcha. Because I know what questions to ask, but most people don't read the book. You know what I'm saying? That's not a book that's readily given out, and only the inner circle of people who think they're smart have read that book and passed it on to other people who think they're smart and read that book. It's only that group, and that group is only like 20% of it. And it doesn't mean that you're college educated, doesn't mean that you know that you're red pill, it doesn't mean that you're a feminist, and none of that. That's just one of those books that's just a psychological breakdown of, in average, not every single time you come across this person, but in average, how does this person act if they were like this at some point in time? And that book does a great way of explaining it to people. So I feel like as a man, oh my God, that book saved my ass, man. I mean, like literally saved my ass. When those books that people tell you to read, I always tell men, make sure you read them. Don't just take them books for granted, or don't just wait because you got booked. Don't wait till you go to prison. Don't wait till you go to jail to read that book. Read the book now. I tell that to my kids. When my girls both turned 20, I said, oh, you need to go get the Art of Seduction. You need to read that. Huh? I know you don't want to read. I know, I get it, but you need to read this book. And now I'm looking at my toddler, and I'm like, oh, nah, I'm going to have him read the book well before then. He going to read the book at such an early age that he going to think it was like a school book.
Right. So, quick question: is it okay if I shout out what I do outside of?
No. I was gonna tell you, shout out anything right now that you would like for people to know, or how to get with you, or what you do, or so on and so forth. Okay, so I do motivational speaking. I do group facilitation, and that's under Project Climb, which stands for Creative Learning Influences Minds Better. I also have a platform coming out. It'll be a podcast and media outlet. It'll be called The Audacity and the Mouthpiece, a multifaceted program that discusses various topics and how we relate to them as African Americans and Americans as a whole. That'll be coming out in a little while. But just overall, man, I'm glad that you had me on the show, that you finally put me in the rotation. I'm glad that I experienced hip hop, that it put me on a certain path that kind of led me where I'm at now. I also encourage everyone, this one conversation is only a snapshot. There are several chapters to the conversations that I have, and that make who I am up. This is just one conversation that I had with a good friend that I'm glad they invited me on the show. And thank you so much for having me. Thank you so welcome.
Much for just being that light, bro, showing the kind of work that you do. It shows that passion still exists in life. You do it for the passion, you do it for the love, and I got nothing but respect for that, bro.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you greatly for coming on the show. I appreciate that you wanted to ask some tough questions, and I appreciate that you kept it a buck with me and gave me your opinion. And I know a lot of people are not going to like our opinion, and I always tell people, it's not necessarily for you to like. It's just for you to take a step back, take a deep breath, peep what it is, and then ask yourself some hard questions. One
thing I always tell people, don't think with your emotions. Like, if I don't mind, see, here's my thing. I don't mind being wrong. You know what I'm saying? I promise I really don't, but it's not like I just come up with some of the conclusions I come up with. Dude,
they're based on something.
I've read and encountered life.
Yeah, but they're based on something. And so that's why you are a great person to bring on. So You will be back. Don't worry about it. You're going to be back. We're going to get you back
Absolutely.
in the building. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much, Mr. Will Granderson, for coming on Shots Fired with your boy, Simon Phoenix. So this has been another fun-filled episode of Shots Fired. I've been your host, Simon Phoenix. Thank you for coming through. As you know, I holla.